Happening now at 6, authorities continue their recovery efforts, working to pull a car from the depths of the Columbia River, believed to have been the car the Martin family was driving in when they vanished more than half a century ago. We are live tracking the latest updates all morning long, starting right now on KOIN 6 News this morning at 6 o'clock.
Live, you're watching KOIN 6 News at 6. Watching out for you.
And good morning. Thanks for joining us as we cover the latest breakthrough in the haunting cold case of the Martin family who went missing in 1958. Their case remains unsolved, but officials and community members hope that we may finally get some answers. Thanks for joining us on this Friday morning. It is March 7th. I'm Emily Burris.
And I'm Travis Tyke. Happening now, authorities do plan to resume searching the Columbia River for the car believed to belong to the Martin family. Jeff Gianola has been covering this case for years, and he joins us live once again from Cascade Locks this morning to share the latest on this investigation. Jeff, what exactly is the schedule and the plan here this morning?
Well, good morning, Emily and Travis, and to those of you watching right now, here we are, day 2 in this recovery effort. Let me set the scene. I'm standing at the base of Bridge of the Gods here in Cascade Locks. A few hundred yards upriver at the actual locks is where this recovery effort is underway to retrieve a vehicle believed to be the Martin car that disappeared more than 66 years ago. I want to show you drone video of what happened yesterday as a crane came up to Cascade Locks on a barge, and that crane then docked there at Cascade Locks at the boat launch, and then the cable was lowered, and they have attached that cable to the car, but all throughout the day, they were having trouble pulling the car up. There was a lot of mud holding that car down. It looked like at 4:30 p.m. they were ready to lift the car when suddenly the effort was called off for the evening. I had a chance to talk with the sheriff of the Hood River Sheriff's Department, Matt English, and this is what he told me shortly after the effort was called off.
We are treating this as a criminal investigation. We don't know why this happened, and we're talking about human lives that were lost regardless of how long ago it was. So it's really important that we maintain the integrity of this investigation from beginning to end.
And when the sheriff talks about the integrity of the investigation, he said, we don't want to just simply yank the car up, because there's a possibility that any evidence inside that car could then fall back down to the floor of the locks, the river bottom. So they're treating this very, very carefully, and hopefully they will pull that car up today. The divers are expected here by at least mid-morning. They got a late start yesterday. They're going to try to dig that mud out from around the car. Let's show you a picture of the Martins. This is a real tragedy. Ken and Barbara Martin, their 3 daughters, Virginia, Sue and Barbie, and their older son, Don, who's sitting on the left there. Don was in New York. He was with the Navy when the family disappeared. And then this is the car they're searching for. The Martins were driving a 1954 Ford station wagon, tan in color, red trim around the windows, and there's their license plate. That diver has matched that license plate when he gave it to investigators, pictures of it, and that's why investigators are sure, along with the color of the car, that this is the vehicle that they're looking for. That car is upside down, by the way, with some debris on top of it, but stuck in the mud. The example given to me was, you know, when you have your shoe or your boot stuck in the mud and your foot comes out because of the suction, that's what's happening with the car right now. So they're being very careful. They're trying to relieve that suction around the car so they can pull it out. We're going to talk to you in about a half hour from now, but we're going to move down to the locks area. We're going to get set up down there as investigators start returning to this day on the second day of this recovery effort on what could be a key piece of evidence in the disappearance of the Martin family more than 66 years ago. I call it one of the biggest mysteries, one of the most baffling mysteries in Oregon history. So with that, I'll send it back to you, Travis and Emily, but we'll be talking to you soon in about a half hour.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Jeff. I know we are eagerly awaiting updates
Absolutely.
from today's efforts. I know yesterday was a long day of watching and waiting, but it's good to know that they are being so meticulous and careful with this recovery
And it
effort.
makes a lot of sense. I mean, that car's been at the bottom of the river now for almost 70 years.
Yeah.
Jeff, thank you. And we'll talk to you soon. And again, for more on the Martin family and their decades-long disappearance case, you can always find the latest at KOIN.com. You can check out the timeline. Plus, Jeff, again, has reported on this extensively for decades. You can find his 50th anniversary report and his 4-part podcast series on this investigation. And